Welcome to the Bait Boys podcast, the podcast where all three hosts claim to be bait makers, but only one of us actually produces baits in a reasonable amount of time. And here's a hint. His name rhymes with clever. My name is Jesse with Freek Baits Custom Fishing Lures. And once again, I am joined by my co-hosts, Anthony from Lazy Baits Co. and Trevor from Peak Baits. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Good.
I'm really not kidding. Trevor's the only one of us that actually puts baits out on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Anthony and I just mess around.
Since we started, I think he's the only one who's even made one bait, besides the bluegill. But you started that before, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. But anyway,
I keep Lazy Baits on his toes. Okay, I send him
sending him stuff all the time.
Hey, you got an idea?
That new voice you heard is our next guest. We are lucky enough to be joined by Zack from Zack Finds Fish for our episode 4 here. Zack, thank you for taking the time to be here. We really appreciate it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're going to kick things off here in just a second. Do we have any announcements to make, guys? This is normally where we do the announcements. I say normally. This is the second time we've done announcement type stuff. So what do you think?
I finally got Trevor's molds done and shipped to him today. It only took 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah, we talked about it in episode 1.
They're in the mail.
And every week since.
Yep. Luckily, it's only 1 day shipping from me to him. So
that's pretty good.
That's going to be cool.
It is super fast.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome.
No pizza box either, Trev. It's not coming in a pizza box.
Thank you. I think I got 3.
He doesn't like the pizza boxes?
I think he does, but
I had to fight the neighborhood kids.
Right on. Well, I don't have anything new or exciting to update anybody on. So, all right. Well, then I guess we'll just move into it. So we have got our guest, Zack, here. Zack is a content creator / YouTuber / fishing personality. Not really a bait maker, from what I understand, but there's always time to change that. We can fix that for you. You know, if you need another hobby.
Any ideas, I send them to Anthony.
Yeah, don't start. You're good at what you're doing and probably happier.
Fair enough. Well, Zack, once again, thank you for joining us today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us a little bit of your background and just kind of introduce our audience, if they don't already know you, to Zack Finds Fish.
Yeah. So my name's Zack. I have been creating content for over 10 years. Started way back in just regular Call of Duty. I started making montages and commentaries, and that's really where I got started. I went to college for TV and electronic media, which is TV and radio, but it kind of forced you into the whole aspect of news style, which is live to tape, which is you're behind a camera, you're in a control room, which is what I did not want to do. And then I fell into photography. I worked for a car forum for a long time. I went to auto shows and debuts, which was honestly a huge stepping stone for me. Didn't get paid to do it, but it was such an awesome experience. I got to see the Corvette C7 Stingray debut, which was probably one of the best debuts I've ever been to. A lot of times, too, when you're in the media, they like to give you things just to kind of talk about. And I actually have from the Stingray the actual fender badge from a Stingray, which is pretty cool. I still have that.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was a cool event to go to. And then in 2014, I found Twitch, which was one of the best / worst decisions. I would kind of wish I never found Twitch because I was coming out of college with a lot of momentum. But I was like, I went to school for TV and radio, so I can do Twitch. And it was a great decision now. Looking back, honestly, I learned a lot from it, but I also had a lot of momentum. And long story short, I wish I just would have maybe gone with the momentum versus Twitch. But honestly, here I am. I'm full-time stay-at-home dad. I'm a partner on Twitch still, but to me, Twitch was one of those things where streaming and gaming is great. However, it takes a lot of dedication to sit in this chair because this was my office for the longest time. Sometimes back in the past, it was sitting on the floor, but it requires a lot of sitting down and gaming. And for me, mentally, it was to have a successful stream, you had to be sitting here for 4 hours. But once I became a dad, it was impossible to sit here for 4 hours. So I found YouTube. I mean, I found YouTube a long time ago, but I found YouTube as content. It was easier because I could record the content and then break down a video and edit a video piecemeal it together as the day goes on versus sitting down for 4 hours. And I skipped a little bit, but then I'll go into like I found fishing, and being a full-time stay-at-home dad and fishing just works really well. I can go out for like 2 hours, record some content, come home and make a video, and it works really well for the limited amount of time that I have. And I became Zack Finds Fish. I was just looking for some sort of like name that was kind of catchy. And sometimes I joke about it because like you guys don't ever see the videos that I don't catch fish, but it's like sometimes I'm Zack can't find fish. So it worked out. I actually asked a few people like, you know, because I find that there's a lot of YouTubers that make fishing content. Their names are, you know, fishing with someone, and I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be fishing with Zack. I wanted to be, you know, something different. So I landed on Zack Finds Fish, and I've been doing it now for just over a year and a half. And it's honestly, being a content creator on Twitch, there's directories. The games that you make or the games that you play, you're part of a directory, and you're part of a community of that game. And what I feel when I first started was Destiny 2. Destiny was the game that I found on Twitch, and that community was welcoming and like super supportive, and everybody was on Twitch or even on YouTube, I think, was streaming, but you can rate each other with your viewers. And one of the things that I have found with fishing is the community is holy moly, like just welcoming and supportive. And I truly didn't know, well, this is a question I know was coming up, but like I didn't know much about fishing. Everybody has the stories of like starting out fishing, you know, fishing with family and whatnot. But, you know, when I started fishing for content here on YouTube a year and a half ago, I didn't really know much. And you can kind of see it in my videos. If you go back to my first video, I'm like, I have a medium heavy here, throwing an Ozark trail. I think it's a 1/5 ounce minnow, but like I didn't know anything. And then now I've learned a lot because it's what I do when I start creating content. I get like fully immersed into it. But that's just who I am. I started on Twitch, got my degree in electronic media, landed here in fishing, and to be honest, I don't see myself stopping. So here I am. Here I am.
It's too addicting to stop, right?
Still learning, man. You learn so much, and I enjoy, like, for me, I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of catch the fisherman, not the fish. So like, I like things that look cool. Like it may not catch a fish, but like bass will eat anything, man. Like it's fun. Like I'm all about.
You're talking our language,
yeah,
the bait makers. Yeah, you catch the
Catch the
fisherman,
man. Right? Like cool colors. If it looks cool, like that's just like big worms. Like I know people use big worms, but there's just something about throwing a giant snake, soft plastic, and it just catching a fish it's awesome. I love it. So yeah,
it goes to show it's crazy what fish will eat, right?
No, fish will. I mean,
literally anything.
Literally anything, and I think that's where I think sometimes people take too seriously, and just with content creating for so long that I think that burnout is a thing. Burnout is a thing. And with fishing, I wanted to be very careful with that. So like making it fun, like throwing fun baits. Like you might not always catch a fish. I'm very fortunate to have a private lake where bass have zero pressure, and they'll eat anything. But it just
Zack, I'm trying to like you, buddy. I'm trying to like you. So you need to leave that.
No,
those private lake comments out of
private
the
lake,
story,
man.
Right?
Private lake, 10 houses. Every bass is. It's hard to catch anything less than 2 pounds. It's so much fun. I love it.
I was just watching your. Yeah, I was watching it today, but that wasn't from this year, right? That was from the fall.
Dude, I have so much content. I
know.
I
remember you saying
I'm like
last year.
stressed. I was talking to my wife, Molly, and I was like, I don't know what to like. I have content like all the way posted from October of 2024, and I'm like, babe, if I'm gonna have content from 2025 all the way into 2026. She's like, you're gonna have to start posting more. I'm like,
that's a good problem. What threw me off was the PB, because I know, I know that's been broken multiple times. I feel like, and then that came out, and I was like, hang on, 3.1 at that lake. That's not it anymore.
Spoilers, Anthony. Spoilers.
He gets a little bit behind the scenes.
It's out now. Go fair. Watch it.
No, that one that you watched, that one's from 2024. The picture I just sent to him like a couple days ago. Was that a couple days ago? Yeah, a couple days ago. That PB has been smashed twice now, and that other video hasn't even dropped yet. So it's tough. Like it's a good problem. It is a good problem to have a lot of content, but I feel like I'm going to go too far into the past. We'll be in 2026 still watching 2024 videos.
I don't know what that's like. I struggle to put anything out in general. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
a schedule.
behind.
I was posting content like every week. And then with my boy just being born, I was like, I need to like slow down a little bit. And then I started dropping videos twice a month, which allowed me to backlog a lot. And now it's like I'm at a point where I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with the backlog I have. And actually starting in June, I'm going to start posting my vlog style videos, which are like me going to stores and not necessarily fishing, like going to stores like Ollie's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart's, and then dropping those because eventually I'm going to have too many vlogs because I like looking at baits too, like just going and seeing what I can find. I'm a big budget angler, so I get a lot of coupons from like Ollie's. If you have a smartwatch, I'm a big promoter of it, but like Dick's Sporting Goods, some people's Dick's Sporting Goods don't have a lot of good fishing stuff, but I'm a big supporter of like trying to just save people money if they can. And if you have a smartwatch, you can download Dick's Sporting Goods app, tracks your steps. After 300 points, you get $10. And it's like, I
Wait,
never
what?
go to, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it'll track your steps every day, you'll get 3 points. And after 300 points, you'll get a $10 coupon. And you can go there and obviously buy whatever you want. So like I just bought a mag draft for $8. It's just like,
I did not know this.
yep. Try to put people on it, man. Put people on it.
I walk all
Exciting.
day.
Dude, just put it on your phone. Or just connect your app to your phone and your watch, and you will get. I just go in my house some days, like just running the kids around the house, and I will get 3 points. So
He's like, I want to buy a new lure. I'm going to send a walk up and down the steps a little bit.
dude, I don't even stress about it. I know going upstairs, putting the baby down, going to walk around the block with the baby a couple times. No, I know I'm going to get it. That's
That's
it.
awesome. That's awesome. So I was listening, I promise, but I know that you started off as content and then got into fishing. Was the fishing, did you essentially say, I want to create content? What type of content do I want to create now? I've done these other things. Twitch streaming didn't work out. Not didn't work out. It wasn't your thing. A couple of other things. Was getting into fishing a decision based off of making the content, or was it, hey, I'm going to try fishing. Oh, this would make good content. What was your approach to that?
I am a content creator at heart. I like just making content. So like it was streaming on Twitch, but it's all live. And then finding fishing, it was I had my buddy's GoPro, and I originally brought it because just last year, the year before, probably 2 years now, but I was getting back into automotive photography, and I wanted to make some content around like how I set up the pictures. And, you know, like when you go to these media days, when you go to auto shows, if you've ever been to one, if you go to public days, there's thousands of people. Like you just can't get pictures. On media days, there's like maybe 100. So you can get a lot better pictures. So I wanted to, you know, do behind the scenes and like stuff like that. And it worked out really well in the beginning. And then unfortunately, there was just not a lot of shows to go to or debuts happening here in Michigan. And I had my buddy's GoPro, and I was trying to reach out to people. Like, you know, I made little business card flyers to put on people's cars. Like, hey, I'm an automotive photographer. I love your car. Your car is sick. Find me on Instagram. Let's work something out. And that got some things moving. However, there would be also a lot of ghosting. Like, yeah, dude, that's my car. Like, I would love to do that. And then they would just stop messaging. I'm like, I'm too old for this. Like, I'm not going to try to like kiss your ass in the best like way, like to try to get you to take pictures. I'm like, however, I got a GoPro. I have a fishing rod. You know what? I'll make some content around fishing. And like, honestly, I'm so grateful that I did, because where I'm located is a lot of retention ponds. So like not every pond has fish, but I don't have to travel a bunch, but it's just finding the fish is sometimes tough. Zack Finds Fish. That's funny. I didn't mean to do that.
I get it.
I did not mean to do that. However, I found I was like, you know what? I'll make my first video. I'll like make videos around fishing. And yeah, truly, like I'm very grateful. You can see how my editing style has changed from day one to like now. But once you create content, you have to kind of find your own rhythm. But I'm very grateful. So that's how I found fishing. I was just like, I have a GoPro. I have a fishing rod. I got it for Christmas. Like, I'll make some content around fishing. And honestly, like I said, I'm super grateful that I did. Like best decision, it's too much fun, man. It's just a lot of fun and great people in the community.
Yeah. I won't speak for these other guys. I'll let them comment on it, but I can say that the least favorite part for me about all of this is creating the content itself, right? Like that's the least favorite part of it, but it's both a necessary part, and when I'm done with it, like in the moment I don't like it. Like in the moment I could make this bait so much faster if I didn't have to film everything, right? But then having that, not just something to share, but just the documentation of
100%.
everything that you did and everything that went into it, it makes it the end product to me feel like it's even that much more special, right? Like it has that much more meaning to it. So the content creation has never been my favorite part of it, but I'm glad I do it, and I'm glad that we do that, that we do this podcast. That's where that was born out of. But I don't know where I was going with that. I had a big
to kind of go on
philosophical moment.
Yeah. To go on to that though, like I literally right in front of me, I have 4 hours of video that I had to just cut. And it just like, as much as I love creating content, sometimes I'm like, oh God, I got to cut down 4 hours into like 18 minutes. And it's like, it's just a big storytelling, process, but you're just like, where do I cut? And no, it's not always the most fun. So I get it. Like the creating content, it can be like mundane. Like, I'm rushing down to my computer to put it on my computer because I've had where my GoPro is just like files corrupt. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I just went out there for 4 hours and I have 0 content now. I'm like, oh God, bummer. So now I run down to my computer and put it on there right away when I get home. But then it's like, now I'm staring at 4 hours of footage where now I have 2 cameras. Like I use my phone as a camera and my GoPro. So then I'm trying to sync everything up, which fortunately enough, that's pretty easy. But then it's like, I'm a big fan of, because of Twitch, I put my camera in the corner because in my mind, I use it as like, when you watch live content, a lot of times the backdrop is whatever they're streaming or whatever they're doing. And then you can see them in the corner. And that's kind of my idea for it was to, you always see me no matter what, but then sometimes that camera gets bigger and then you can actually see me in big screen. But so that's tedious. Like, I'm big screen, making it small, big screen, making it small. I'm like, that's really tedious. So, I get it. Like content creating can be mundane and boring sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I feel like it's getting a little more enjoyable, but at first it was definitely like, it felt like a grind just getting anything done. It still does, but I feel like you learn a little bit more of a process and it makes it a little bit easier. But I want to get off topic because you said something about handing out business cards to trying to like drum up, like people to take pictures of their cars and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And you work with a lot of bait makers, making posts of their lures, or like me, jacked up baits, all these small bait makers. Do you reach out to anybody and ask them for lures?
Mm-mm. No.
All right. And this is funny because you have all of these people sending you stuff, and I can tell you, all 3 of us get messages 100 times a day from people trying to get something for free. And I know Trevor has something to say about this. You better chime in. You better not keep quiet.
What do you want me to chime in on, the teenage boys that want free stuff and you give them a coupon code for 50% off and they still won't buy something? And
yep, the mooches.
It's good. They keep chiming
mooches, dude.
Yeah, but that's tough.
I can tell you from like, for me, I saw the content you're putting out and it immediately was attention grabbing, and I could see the amount of effort you put into it, and it's different. And
I appreciate
that. I wanted to work with you on stuff. A lot of people just think like, hey, can you send me a bait so I can test it and I'll tag you in a post? And it's like, bro, these things take me hours. Like, why am I going to spend money shipping something, take hours away from my family to make something, just so you can try it? Like, what are you trying it for? Oh, I already tried it. A bunch of people tried it.
I will say, like, definitely that's something that I learned just over my 10 years of creating content is if people companies or people like your content, they'll reach out to you. I think it's always a bad look if you're not always, because there is definitely like times, but for me, it's just like, I would much rather the person, small business company, like message me, because then that means they're interested, they're seeing, they're enjoying, they're like more interested and involved in my content versus like, hey, like me reaching out to them like, hey, your baits or whatever are fantastic. Can I get one to make a video about it? Like, I think for me, I am, and personally for me, I'm like tunnel vision. I'm creating content because I enjoy it, and I hope other people do. And if there's somebody that wants to work with me, I'm totally down. Like, it just, for me, I like creating content, and I appreciate when people enjoy my content, and not every video and short or whatever is successful. So like, to me, it's like when somebody reaches out like, hey, I really enjoy your content. Let's say, for example, you like Lazy Baits, like, can I get some of my baits? Hey, are you gonna? Because that's how it started. Is like I was doing that bait wall, or putting names on the bait wall, and then I was like, hey, are you gonna put some baits on the wall? I was like, probably eventually. I still have yet to finish that wall.
Hey, it has a bunch of downsizes on it. The
whole generation.
Look.
Yeah. No, it's cool to have
this is the next
OG.
one.
So I mean, like, for me, to anybody that does that, like, I'm not, no shade to anybody, but like, for me, that's just not who I am. I will never reach out to people to like get free stuff. Like, that's just not who I am. Yeah. I just know, for me personally, like, I know how much time goes into creating anything. And the last thing I want to do is sound like I'm mooching or like trying to like get something for free, just get it for free, But
you work, like, not even work with, like, you buy a lot of lures and then tag the companies that you're making the video about. You're promoting them, and you spent your money, and you're showing like it's something you genuinely are like backing and believe in. To just say, hey, I like your stuff, can I test it and I'll tag you? It's like, dude, you are one of 100 people a day that message me that. Yeah. And then you're like, well, here's a coupon code, and not one time has anyone used one. So I don't know where I was going with that. I just wanted to talk about the hundreds of messages we get a day. Buy something, tag us with a fish and a catch, and I can almost guarantee you, down the line, you're gonna network, and you're gonna end up working with those smaller guys like us, because it means a lot to us. Every post like that, every tag, every fish catch, But man,
yeah, anybody
hey, can I get a free lure to try it?
Any tip to anybody that's like that is doing that, just create content, and your content will get people like Lazy Baits to reach out to you and say like, hey, do you want to test out some, like, I got a new bait coming out. It's, and I would love to see you catch it. Like, to me, it's just like, it would never be roles reversed. I would never go to someone and be like, hey, can I? So I think anybody that's doing that, like, just create your content. I promise small businesses, bait makers, whoever will reach out to you. They will.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't agree more, Anthony, with the point that you were making about like, show us something, right? Show us that you want to use our baits. Buy our least expensive thing that we have available, right?
Yeah.
Use the coupon code or what. We're always, I know all three, well, when Anthony and I have, baits available, mainly Trevor, we're always, none of us are unreasonably priced for the effort that goes into what we do, right? And I think that taking that first step to say, hey, I found this one-man operation, which all three of us are, this one-man operation. I really like their baits. I would love to work with them. I'm going to buy the cheapest thing they have available, and I'm going to make a reel about it, or a short about it, or even better, a full video about it, or even if it's part of a full video where I talk about their lure. That would go so much farther with us than, and half the time people aren't even nice about it. They're just like, hey, I'm a big deal. You should want to work with me. They don't literally say this, but that's the context between the lines. I'm a big deal. You should want to work with me. So I'll let you send me some baits if you're lucky, right? Like, it's the attitude and the approach to it, because that's what really shuts me down. These guys are nice. They'll send a promo code. I just ignore them completely, because if you're coming at me with nothing to offer, and you've taken no time to invest in what I'm doing, then I'm not going to invest in what you're doing. It's no hard feelings. I get it. Shoot your shot. But if anybody wants advice on how to get into a partnership with, especially a small business, a small time bait maker, take that first step. That's my biggest thing is take that first step, show some commitment, show some interest, show that you want to put skin in the game too. And then I'm much more likely to put skin in the game as well. I'm willing to meet you where you're at, but don't come at me and especially be a jerk about how I should give you lures because you have 113 followers and, 14 TikTok views in the past 20 minutes. I don't care. I don't care.
You'll put a 10-pounder on it.
Right?
Yeah. I'll put a double dig on it. No problem.
A kid messaged me. He said, send me one of your baits. I'll catch a 10-pounder. He doesn't even have a 5-pounder on his page. How are you going to catch a 10-pounder? I mean,
also, don't lie. To that point, don't lie.
5 pounds is pretty good. I'm very happy with a 5-pounder. Just say I'll put a 5-pounder on it.
Right?
That'd be awesome.
I'm getting close, man. I'm getting close. All right.
You're getting close. Yep. I haven't gotten any this year.
No. And again, I don't blame anybody for shooting their shot. And there have been people that have reached out, not specifically content creators, but I've had some high school kids reach out that are part of a fishing team and they're looking for sponsors. And I'm like, I don't have any money. I've not made any money yet. But I mean, I'm trying to recoup on the investment, and I've sold some baits, but like, I don't have any money to give you, but I'll send you some baits because I'm a big proponent of young kids getting into fishing. I think it's something that's important. I think it's something that should always happen. Now, if you're in high school and on a fishing team, don't flood my DMs because
you're getting them, dude. 200 tomorrow.
200 tomorrow. But also,
they're even getting a new truck, and they would put your sticker on it. They're getting their truck this week.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. But yeah, it's also about that combined with it has to be your request has to be good, right? Like you have to, the one that I'm thinking of specifically went to my website, did a lot of went through every page, read my about me, which nobody reads. I don't even read it. I don't expect
I read it.
I even put a joke at the end of it that says, if you're still reading this, you're either related to me or super bored, right? Like that's, I don't expect everybody, but he went through and read the whole thing. Looked at my, Instagram page, did everything that he could, sent me this long, well-worded, well-thought-out request, said, I understand if you can't, but I just wanted to see, I'd love to work with you. And I was like, yeah, I'll send you a couple baits. Like that one was, the approach was great, but I can't tell you how many
that day.
Probably. And that was early on. Right after I started
I did it a lot early on too.
Yeah.
And then literally people wouldn't even make the post. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like,
yeah,
it's hours to get anything done.
For sure.
I feel bad. Like, oh, can you cover the shipping? Like, I'm not even going to ask them to cover the shipping. So I spend, $9 to $12 shipping something and they do nothing with it. But that's why, I know me and Trevor do it with I do the Lazy Baits Legends, and Trevor does, what is it, quarterly you do rounds?
Every month and a half. I do the catch and win.
Yeah, catch and wins. So you even buy a $20 lure. We all have cheap lures, and then you get some catches on it, make some posts, and you could win something for free. I don't know. But like you said, invest in us a little bit to reinvest back in you, and we grow together, not
a little bit.
A little bit,
just
yeah.
Just a little.
Bro, I work out of my basement. This is not a full-fledged operation. I work all day, come home, and then work in the basement when I have time. But I do agree, shoot your shot. Most of the time you'll get rejected. Sometimes you won't, and you might get something. But if, Zach's advice, if you want to be successful in it, show your work and it'll come back to you. Mm-hmm. Because when I saw his content and that wall, I was like, this isn't something I've seen anybody do. And then I started digging into his content a little, and you could tell he puts a lot of effort into it. Mm-hmm. So to me, that was an attractive aspect to be I want to work with him.
Hey, you putting baits on that wall?
Yeah. Hey, you gonna put any baits on that wall now? There's like what, 8 baits on the wall. Half of them are
the whole
half of them
generation.
are downsizes.
Yeah.
And we're still working on it. And it ended up can you test this bait for me? Let's work together on it. And he's giving me feedback, and we're still developing it. And this is what, over a year?
Just all for fun, man. Like, it's all just fun.
Yeah. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, are we done talking about mooches? Or do we want
I'm
to
done with the
spend?
mooches.
All right, one more
I
thing.
had
No,
to get it out. I had to get
No,
it out.
That's it.
It's a real thing. And it's something we all, and this is proof positive with Zach being here. Zach doesn't, he just focuses on making good content, making great content. And if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
That's
Totally.
the whole
That's the point
concept
I
of it.
wanted to make.
Yeah. Well, I remembered the point I wanted to make earlier. If we forgot that we've moved on well past that, but I wanted to say before I forget again that it's much easier to make content about something that you're passionate about versus something that you're not. Right? Something that you love doing. So it's easier for me to make content about bait making than it is for me to make content about snorkeling, because I don't snorkel.
Dancing?
Like it does it.
Are you
Dancing.
a dancer?
I don't. Not anymore.
That's why, like, for me as a content creator, the biggest thing that I can say to anybody creating content is burnout is a thing. And if you are creating content around something you enjoy, be very careful, because it can cause it to be, you're more stressed about making content than enjoying the thing that you enjoy. And as someone that was a Twitch streamer that used to game, that was my job. I legitimately do not, and it might sound silly, but like, I do not game anymore. Like, gaming does not sound fun to me. The last thing I want to do is game. And it's hard for me too now, because it was my job, to, like, if I do game, I feel weird not streaming. Like, that was just my thing. So like, now it's like when I game, it's like I'm by myself. Like, it's just not attractive for me to do anymore. Like, I don't want to, like, it's not fun. And like, that's why I'm very careful with fishing. Like, some people have said, like, in my comments, like, well, we would like to see those days that you're not successful. Yeah, but the problem with that is, if I do that, that means I have to come down to my desk and edit a day of 4 hours into 20 minutes where nothing really happens, but maybe I get a snag. Like, I cannot do that. That's going to cause burnout. And like, that's why I'm very cautious. Now, granted, to go back to that is like, that's why I've started like a short series or a short video series where I go to my old honey hole and I don't bring my GoPro. I just record on my phone, and I'm there for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And instead of cutting anything out, I just speed everything up and I turn it into 5 minutes. So like, it takes me maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes to edit all that content. And it's still where a day, maybe I didn't catch anything, but I didn't have to sit in my desk and edit 4 hours of footage into 18 minutes where I caught a couple pieces of grass. Like, I just can't do that. Like, I get the idea that like people want to see the days that you don't, like, nothing happens too, like, because that does happen. Everybody, there's days that you go out and you don't catch any fish. There's days in a row that I go out and don't catch fish. But I am not sitting at my desk to edit that content, because that will cause me to be burned out. And the last thing I want to do is be burned out in fishing, because it will happen. It will happen if you focus more on the content and around something you enjoy, and all of a sudden that thing you enjoy is not as fun because you don't want to go out and go fishing because you'll have to edit a video. Like, that will happen. That's why I'm very protective.
You don't want to spend 4 hours not catching fish and then
8 hours,
4 hours of of not catching fish.
Take a whole
week.
You
don't
want to
watch
edit
yourself later on.
Yeah, take a whole week to edit 4 hours into 18 minutes and realize that like nothing happened. So yeah, like that's the best. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Like, yeah.
Well,
that's just my tip for anybody that's creating content. Be very careful because it can cause burnout.
And that's a perfect segue into my next question here, Zach. And that's because you make a lot of different types of content. You make long form, short form. What is your favorite type? Like, what's your favorite thing to create? You're a creator, so what's the favorite thing that you want to, like, what's the thing you never struggle with sitting down to do?
I think it's probably maybe because of age, but like I'm just kind of like an old-fashioned YouTuber. I like long form. It's just I think short, to me, I find shorts really tedious. I have to, like, and honestly, like, I've gotten a little lazy with them. Like, that's why a lot of the shorts and to be fair, like, to defend me a little bit, is like, I don't have a lot of time to edit content, and sometimes creating shorts can be really tedious. You have to figure out what your short is going to be in a minute. And like, can it be interesting enough to gain views and get attraction for it? But And so like I find long form is like I already had a plan. I know what the video is about. I know what I'm gonna cut, what my voiceover like intro is going to be. Like that's just way more planned out in my head. Where it's like with a short, if I'm before a few weeks back, I was trying to make 3 shorts a day, and that was tough. Like I would get a little backlog, and then by the next day, I've already burned through that backlog. And so like I find shorts to be the most tedious. And that's why I'm also like, when I have content to edit, I don't create any shorts typically, unless it's like a teaser video, like, this is the video that's coming out in a week, or, I try to create as much content around something to help create a backlog. But to me, long form content, it's just because the idea that there's a plan. I already know what the video is about. I know what happens. I know what to cut out. I know how to work around to make the video. And then a YouTube short, it's like, all right, I'm trying to figure out what catch is interesting to like make it into a minute, or can I make a video about a lure, this realistic craw. Now, granted, I wanted to showcase that craw because that craw was awesome. But it's short form is just, to me, the most tedious, unless you're doing content like, which I do too, is like you put up a question and you have people answer. Like that's pretty easy content, but it's not necessarily the only shorts I like to make, because then I feel like it is a little lazy on my end, just personal perspective on my end. I'm a harsh critic on myself, and I find that to be, for me, lazy. Like if I'm reeling in and all, there's just a question on the screen, like that, just super easy to make.
I like those.
A lot of people do. But like for me, I
always respond to them when I see them.
Yeah. It's just for me, I just find myself like I can get those done really quickly. That's really easy. That's really easy content for me. But yeah, I'm a long form guy. I like the long form. Definitely when there's 4 hours sitting in front of me, that's tough, but.
Yeah, I get it. And I find that like with the long form content, it's easier. Oh,
really editing.
Oh, I love that monitor.
Editing.
Look at that setup. Jeez.
I was a Twitch streamer, bro.
Anyway. Hashtag Twitch life.
Yep.
No, I find that it's much easier to tell a story. I like to tell stories, right? In a long form format. You're not rushed. You have time to build the story, to build the plot line, essentially, right? Like it already happened. You already know what happened, but you have time to put that together and thoughtfully produce something that is going to make sense from front to back. Whereas with short form, I find it's like, what is the coolest thing I can cram into this 30 seconds to a minute, right? Like what's the thing that's going to grab attention? And I'm not huge on grabbing attention, right? Like that's not my favorite thing to do. So I would much rather tell a story. So I can completely agree with you, but it's all necessary evils in this world of, promoting your business or promoting your content, whatever it is. It's all, you got to do all of it in order to reach the audience where they're at, because everybody likes different things. Anthony loves your simple videos with the questions. Yeah. I like that type of stuff too. So don't be too hard on yourself. It sounds like that stuff's working, but yeah.
I also feel like short form is like you said, necessary evil, because a lot of people engage with them. They're just scrolling, they're sitting on the toilet scrolling. They're sitting on the couch scrolling. Like they're not sitting down for a half hour and watching something. So you're going to reach more of an audience potentially, and they're shorter and you could hit the algorithm right. But I agree. It's tough to cram something engaging into 40, 50 seconds, and you still have to put a bunch of effort in to do that.
Yeah, like piecing it together, like that's where it's just the most tedious, like piecing it together to make it attention grabbing, and then you have to make multiple of those. And like a lot of people don't realize that are on the outside, like as a content creator, you are your everything. You're your graphic designer, you're your editor, you're your social media manager, you're everything. And so like short form content to me is definitely most tedious, because I'm like, what short am I going to make that's going to be interesting to break that like into that little algorithm spike, and then all of a sudden just like completely dies off for no reason. But yeah, long form, dude, it's just the storytelling. That's what I enjoy the most, the storytelling.
You just gotta make motivational motivational shorts and put hashtag ASMR. That's how I got 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I'd say probably like 10 of them are real people that watch my stuff.
Also, too, though, like, honestly, that's another thing is like that's the most rewarding is when a long form content gets put into the algorithm. Like that to me, because I put a lot more effort into that one. So to me, when that gets attention and that gets the comments and the likes and people enjoying it, like that to me is more exciting than, wow, this short is going into the algorithm. It's got me 100 subscribers. That's awesome. But like really to me, it's just not as rewarding because I know that can happen if you just make the right title or like add the right song to it. And so like, for example, my one thing that like you guys might see a little bit of Pokemon on the back. Some of the content I used to create was Pokemon content. It would be me going to like Walmarts and Targets and like doing restock days and like checking out stuff. And one of the things that I noticed when I was making that content is a lot of people were more interested in what was on the shelf and like what we could find early or whatnot. And a lot of times people were done after that. And then you go back home and you open all the stuff. And so like what I carried from that and what I learned from that is kind of what I do with my vlogs of fishing. It's like, for me, not everybody, but a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll do challenges or they'll go to a store and only buy stuff from Walmart and then they'll go fishing with it. I don't want to do that. I just want to sometimes go to Walmart and see if I can find anything on clearance or any new baits that they put on the shelves. And like, that's the video. And those have been,
I love the under the rack ones.
That was an idea from Pokemon. Like that was a thing where,
really?
Yeah. So Pokemon, what would happen is a lot of times the restock would slide underneath and go underneath the shelf. If you look up Real Breaking Nate, like it was really his idea. Real Breaking Nate is a huge Pokemon YouTuber, and he has a series where he does that, and he goes to like a bunch of Targets all around or anywhere like Myers and here if you're from the Midwest, and like you would lift up the shelf, the bottom shelf, and there would just be like crusty packs of Pokemon cards under there. And so like I took that idea with Walmart. And I looked under the shelf and there was a couple things there and I went fishing with them. And that actually was what probably the most successful video until I did the garage sale video. And I didn't go fishing with the stuff. I just went to a garage sale and that's sitting at almost 90,000 views. And like I didn't fish. I just looked at a bunch of stuff. And that's just to me what I think sometimes people want to see. They just want to see the cool stuff. Like they don't care. Everybody fishes and like everybody's creating content around fishing. But like if you can go to the store and
something different.
It's just something different. And that's kind of why I did the vlogs of like going to Ollie's. I go to now granted in my content creation mind, I do the vlogs and then from those vlogs I only fish with those videos. So I get lures. So I get 2 videos from like one day of content. But yeah, I just vlogs to me, storytelling, long form content. I forgot where we were going with that, but
what was your favorite type? That was the original question.
Yeah, vlogs have been the most successful for me personally, not the fishing.
That's interesting. Because obviously the people who are watching it are interested in fishing. If they like, or otherwise, why are they? Maybe they're not. Maybe they just like to watch people buy stuff.
You'd be surprised.
I'm sure that's a thing too.
You'd be surprised.
I'm sure that's a thing too.
Like new, like for example, my Walmarts have loaded up with a bunch of new stuff. And a lot of times people think like, I get a ton of comments saying like, yeah, my Walmart's, well, once you start seeing your Walmart section shrink or they're taking stuff off the shelf or they're putting all on clearance, yeah, your Walmart section's done. Like it's no longer a thing. And actually I have found with as many times I do these vlogs is it's actually the opposite. They're selling all the stuff because they're just loading it up with a bunch of brand new. And like now, personally for me, Dick's Sporting Goods has a huge problem because Walmart literally is mirroring Dick's Sporting Goods, and Dick's Sporting Goods is probably $2 to $3 more expensive than everywhere else, except they do price match. But it is more expensive. There are obviously some differences with Dick's Sporting Goods, like they have some more variety. Like Walmart doesn't sell Guggen Squad stuff anymore. They don't sell any 6 cents other than a couple specific crankbaits at Walmart. But like Walmart has upped their game, at least personally for me. Like they have a bunch of call shads from Berkeley. I mean, it's just a bunch of stuff. The Snag Proof, which is to me is newer bait. It's the hollow body like spooks and the hollow body poppers. At first I was going to buy one from their site, and then all of a sudden I saw them at Walmart. I'm like, I don't even need to do that anymore. So
I want to make one of those so bad,
dude. I've been
trying to figure it out for the last year.
Yeah. So Yeah, I think there's a lot of times you'll find people where they just want to see if there is anything new out there, or if they can find, like, go to their stores and find anything on sale. Like, that is huge. I find a lot of my clearance videos to be the most successful too. So everybody's just trying to save money, man. It's tough times out there.
Exactly. And I love the budget stuff, right? Like I like watching the budget content stuff, like to where it's like, what's the cheapest combo I can get? And like, I'm a sucker for all of that because that's where I have some nicer stuff, as I've grown up and gotten, that advanced my life a little bit, but it's still like, that's where everybody starts on. Nobody goes out and buys the most expensive rod and reel that they can find and the most expensive baits. You're not dropping $100 to $200 on a massive glide bait your first week out, right? Most people aren't. I'm sure there are some people out there that do that, but their parents have a lot of money.
Or can do that. Yeah. Like if it's their prerogative, they want to do that, they can do that.
Absolutely.
It's just not me.
Absolutely.
It's not me.
No, that's not me either.
I've even found, like, for example, an Abu Garcia Vendetta rod, which is like $100 rod. I just recently picked up for $18 at Walmart. Or like the Xfinity Pro, which is one of my favorite rods. It's a very versatile rod. It's medium, heavy, fast, 7 foot. The lure weight goes from a 1/4 ounce all the way up to 2 ounces. So it's just like it's a rod you can do anything with. And that was a $100 rod I picked up for $30. And that to me is probably the most versatile rod out there. It's a little bit soft of a tip. It's a little bit softer than fast, but it is a rod that I found at Walmart for $30. It was originally $100, and they had just stacks of them at there, and you could pick from a bunch of them. You have to be mindful though. Look for the eyes. A lot of times the eyes are broken, so or the tip is broken. But other than that, giggity.
I love my Lose Mach 1. That thing I've had for years, and I throw everything on it. Is that one orange? The one you're talking about?
Yeah, the Lose so there's a Lose Xfinity, which is it's with the camo grip. It's like an orange camo grip, and then there's the Lose Xfinity Pro, which is the cork grip. That's the one I have. And then you can still get the Xfinity.
I love Lose.
I'm a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, I mean, it's a perfect segue into my next question for you here, Zach, because we're shifting from talking about content creation. It's happening again, fellas. Content creation to fishing gear, right? And so if you could take one setup, one combo, one bait out for a day, and you had to use it all day long. Right. And you can get as specific as you want. You can talk about brands, or you can just say, weights and however you want to do it. But I just want to know if you could take that one combo, one bait, fish it all day long. What would that entire setup look like?
So for me, I mean, I like bait casters more than spinning rods. They're just more comfortable for me. So I'd go with a bait caster. Man, that's tough because I would probably just go with and I'm going to only pick from my stuff that I have. I would go with, the Deadbolt is not a versatile rod, reel. So the Deadbolt is from Cast King. It has zero drag, legitimately zero drag, no drag star, no drag components, nothing. I have it paired with the Speed Demon Pro Frog Rod, 7.2, heavy fast. It's Cast King as well. And if I could, I would always throw that. And one of the reasons why is the Deadbolt to me is just such a unique experience. I've made a couple videos on it, and I get comments all the time like, that's going to break your rod. Like that's why there's drag. It's going to break your rod. You're going to lose fish. Wait till you catch something huge. And that may be the case. I have caught some good fish with that, and it's not been a problem yet. But something about the Deadbolt that there's so much control. You can still thumb drag. So like if you need to drag, you can still thumb drag. But you have so much control over the fish. The sensitivity, because one, there is no drag. Obviously, paired with the right rod, it's still very sensitive. The line, whatever line you use, I use 30-pound braid. Suffix Promix braid is what I go by. It is the most fun combo. It's not versatile. You shouldn't throw it with a lot of things because of the Deadbolt. You're going to bend out treble hooks. You're going to break lures. But if I was to pick one combo, it would be the Deadbolt, Cast King Deadbolt with my Speed Demon Pro Frog Rod, because to me that reel is like a game controller. Like you just you feel everything because of everything else around it. You have so much control over the fish. It's just fun. I usually throw craws or any, like, honestly, for me, it's meant, so the Deadbolt and Speed Demon Pro Frog Rider work really well together, but the Deadbolt is meant for frog fishing and pitching and flipping. So it's meant for like heavier cover or like heavy hook set on a frog. Frog lure, I know that's a question, but frog lure is my favorite. There's just something about it when a fish, and the concept for me around a frog lure is my favorite lure. But yes, Deadbolt would be my favorite combo. Deadbolt, Speed Demon Pro Frog Rod, favorite combo because it is so sensitive. You have so much control over the fish. I will say the newest PB in my private lake was caught on the Deadbolt, and it just like it is.
That's why you like it so much right now. Okay.
This was only a couple days ago. Like I can't wait. There's a lake that we usually go as a family, so I probably won't create long form content there, or maybe just bring my phone stuff. But before I had the Deadbolt, there's a ton. My old PB was caught there, and there's just lily pads everywhere. And I caught my PB there on a black scum frog, and I can't wait to go there again with the Deadbolt and my Speed Demon Pro Frog Rod, because just recently, not even because of that fish, but I just recently caught my first frog fish of the year, and just the whine of the braid and it was just so much fun. So that would be my favorite. That would be my go-to combo, like the Speed Demon Pro Frog Rod paired with the Deadbolt. 30-pound, 40-pound braid is just, it's so sensitive, so much control. It's a good time. That would be not versatile. You should not use it for everything. But if I'm going out fishing, if I can, I'm bringing that. 100%.
Good answer.
100%.
Good answer. I like it. You guys have anything you want to ask? I know I talk too much. I know I'm self-aware, but what do you guys?
You're the host, man.
You're good.
We're all the hosts. We're all the hosts. I just won't shut up to let everybody else talk. So I'm going to do that now.
Zach, can we talk about 4th of July?
Yeah, dude. Let's talk about it.
We haven't even finalized it, but
it was an idea.
We're gonna give away a downsized the version 2. Any idea how? How do you plan on giving it away?
I mean, honestly, it'll probably be the same thing. Like, make sure you're honestly, and it most likely because it will allow people to follow you on Instagram, and probably, and I get a lot of hate from YouTube in the sense of like I don't have an Instagram, but it most likely will be an Instagram giveaway, just because the idea is like, of course, I want people to also follow Lazy Baits Co. as well. So like, be a part of it. It's hard to do that if it's just on YouTube.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
I know, but it's just dude.
Followers, but
customers.
However we do it, this camera really bleeds out any white. But this is going to be the version 2. Change the profile. Me and Zach have been spending the last year on this thing, and now I don't know. I think I finally got it.
The original downside.
Stop making changes.
Yeah, the original downside was a fish magnet, dude. I'm still in pain from losing that chartreuse in orange, or what I think it was chartreuse in orange. I can't remember. That was my go-to.
I know a guy that can probably get you another one.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, he's getting one.
Yeah,
I got 3.
I got 8 of them actually. I got they're all hanging on my.
So I got 3 right here. So one is going to be given away. One's for Zach and one's for me. And mine and Zach's are going to be the same paint job. And I told him this weekend, I'm going to get them painted this weekend because I'm real slow. They're still white.
Yeah.
They're still all white.
Hey man, nice bone color.
Yeah, no, they're gonna be America, and then I got something cool in mind for me and you. But yeah, so we'll give those away.
Yeah, 4th of July giveaway. So be ready.
Excellent. 4th of July, you heard it, ladies and gents. Cool. Well, I don't have a good segue for this. Normally I do, but I think we've made it a ways into this conversation, and we have not talked about this week's sponsor.
We need to talk about the sponsor.
We've got to talk about the sponsor. So now a word from our sponsor.
Hey, I'm Chuck Snag Daddy Rollins with Grime Line Call Center. Let's take some calls together. We got one right here. Thank you for calling Grime Line Call Center. This is Chuck Snag Daddy Rollins, 3-time band tournament angler, 2-time runner-up in a fistfight with a pelican, and I'm here to ruin your reputation and increase your catch rate.
Yeah, my buddy's always catching bigger fish than me, man.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do about it? It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Please help.
All right. Yeah, we're going to go with the sabotage technique. What you're going to do is offer to retie his knots for him, just to help. Yep, tie it with a granny knot. Bonus points if you dramatically say, "This baby's rock solid," and hand it back while making direct eye contact. Guaranteed to work.
All right, thanks, man. I'll give it a try.
All right. Good luck. That's it for today's Grime Line Hotline.
Again.
Chuck Snag Daddy Rollins?
Check him out.
Was that his name?
Grime Line Hotlines. It's good, dude. I'd
Are these
start
people-
calling them.
Are these people reaching out to you, or are you reaching out to them, or how is this working? Because you
But just
found some
don't-
interesting sponsors.
You know when it's better not to ask questions? Just
Say
Yeah.
less. I got it.
Just
All right,
just
cool.
call them 1-800-NO-MORALS. Great people.
1-800-NO-MORALS. Perfect. All right. Well, anyway, Zach, why don't you tell our viewers where they can find you and if there's anything exciting, new and exciting that you have coming up in the next week or so.
You guys can find me on YouTube at Zack Finds Fish, everywhere on Instagram as well, TikTok as well. However, the Instagram and TikTok content is typically the same. So if you follow me on Instagram, that you will see the same on TikTok. Anything exciting going on? Honestly, nothing crazy. Just editing content all day, every day. That's what I do. That's super exciting sometimes. It can be exciting. Being a dad. That's always fun. But exciting, not much right now. Just hopefully going fishing maybe on Sunday and going out in my waders and hopefully maybe catch some fish on a frog. That's my goal. I want to catch a fish on the deadbolt, man. I'm telling you, it's no joke. That reel is amazing. I love that reel. But yeah, nothing going on. Nothing crazy for me. Nothing.
Fair enough. Sometimes that's the best place to be.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, in my opinion. What about you two yahoos? You guys got anything? What are you working on right now? What's new and exciting in Peak Baits and Lazy Baits Co. lore?
Lore?
Dad, Trevor, you can go first.
4th of July lure.
What's new? Molds that are en route.
En route.
Yeah. Here's the 3-piece I forgot in the car to show everybody.
Dude, that thing's nice. Is that from Skunked Again Industries?
The Invisilure. It's one of those fast sinking topwaters, right?
Yeah. Dude, my coworker was getting a crack out of that. He was saying it all day. Yeah, the 3-piece will be there tomorrow. Now you don't have to cut the bait in half. Cut the rear section in half. Although, you said it today, right? About offering both, possibly? That would be cool. 2-piece and 3-piece combo. Cool. Yeah. So, they're on their way. I wish I could show them, but I just couldn't hold on to them. I had to get them on their way to him because it's been weeks.
It's been since we began this podcast. I know we've been talking about it every single episode, and we're about to wrap up the saga of Anthony Makes Trev's Moles.
Yep.
So
next week.
So we'll show them off. We'll show them off next week and make sure everybody gets a good look at them. What about you, Anthony?
Hopefully soon I'll be getting this downsize, getting some painted. I'm painting one for me, one for Zach, one for a giveaway. Then I have to pour some more. I got a laser cutter. I'm going to zap some stuff. No idea how it works really. But after this, I'm going to go try not to cut my finger off with it. Maybe cut some paper towel. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a perfect medium for laser cutters, I hear.
Yeah, well, that's what I tested it with. I designed a new tail for that herring bait, which is killing me because I don't know if you've ever designed a bait. I know Trevor understands this, but you throw it in the
I have
water
designed a bait, yes.
Yeah, well, you've designed one or two. But you throw it in the water and it looks great. And then you're like fishing it more and more. And just like Zach was saying with his content being critical, you just find things wrong with it. Mm-hmm. And that's where I am. And you have something specific in mind. You envision something. And you're like, I have to meet that standard. So hopefully this tail helps. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll probably end up moving on to another bait and putting this one on the back burner, just like the other 100 that
No,
are on the
you
back
can't do that.
burner.
I want to paint one, and I know Trev wants to paint one too. So, like you gotta
It's
keep
close,
that
man.
one moving.
Listen,
Keep
I'm
that one
trying to
moving.
focus. I'm trying not to be ADHD and focus on it.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Thanks, man.
I like this group. They're very supportive.
We are, dude. That's
Most
the
of the
whole
time.
fishing community, man. Like, most people are just like, great. Like you were saying, it's like, I don't know. It's different than a lot of other communities.
I've been apart from Twitch. I've been a part of a lot of communities, and some were great, some were not. And this is definitely gives me 2014 vibes of Destiny Directory, where everybody's just doing their own thing, but also trying to support one another too. So it's cool. It's cool to be a part of it.
We all just want to catch fish, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
We all just
We
want to
wanna
break
find
our
fish,
PB.
Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to find fish.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I found
I
them.
wanna
Apparently,
be-
you hold the secrets.
Hey, private lake,
just
dude. You
wanna
just got to
be-
find a private lake. You'll find them all the time, dude.
I have one of those over here. I want to be Anthony Finds Fish.
No, it's trademarked. You can't do that.
Love it. Well, I'm getting ready to leave on a work trip this Sunday to Florida, and hopefully I could sneak in, an evening or two of fishing. But I'm only there for a few days, and then I'm taking a trip for my 40th birthday, which isn't actually until July, but this is happening in June, up to Canada to do a pike, walleye, bass, largemouth, smallmouth, crappie, whatever we can catch kind of trip for a week. So I will be
Muskie?
offline for a little bit. It's not muskie season, so it just means you can't keep them, which I don't really plan on keeping much anyway. Don't tell the
People
guys I'm
do
going
that?
with because they're all about it. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. But it's not muskie season. But yes, there are muskie where I'm going, and there is a possibility of catching them, but you're not technically supposed to target them, even though muskie and pike kind of eat
Right.
the same baits. You can't really avoid it. So it's not like I can say, I'm not going to catch any muskie. You just have to immediately return them if you do. So that's, so I'm going to be out of the whole, I'm going to be even slower at getting content made, at getting baits made, at getting YouTube videos up and running, but it's going to be worth it because I'm really excited to go on that trip. And 6 days it's straight on the water. Even I can catch a fish under those conditions. So I'm excited to see what comes of it. But that's all I've got coming up here. So
What about the Slim Thick?
The Slim Thick, I've got all the molds or the masters printed. I'm going to pour the silicone molds tonight, or at least half of them, because two of my pieces didn't print, my door pieces didn't print right. So I'm going to have to reuse, I have two that work and two that don't. So I'm going to have to pour them one half at a time, but it'll be fine. I'll have them all poured by tomorrow. And hopefully I can get one or two of those put together for the Canada trip so I can start testing it out. Maybe, 2 or 3 people in this group will get an early version of it if it's good enough to start sending out for feedback. But more to come on that. But I think we need to wrap this up. It's been a great conversation. Zach, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This has been awesome, eye-opening. I know you made a joke in the reel that you posted earlier that you don't know anything about bait making, and that's perfectly all right. Neither do we, if we're being honest with you. And, but it's still been great to kind of learn about the content creation aspect of from what, that's the focus of what you do. And that's what you're passionate about. And it's really cool to hear about all the things that you're doing. And I learned a few things for sure. So I appreciate you being willing to come and hang out with a few bait makers in the process.
Oh, this was awesome. I appreciate it.
I think, of course, man, anytime. You're welcome back anytime. But I think it's time now for our tradition of question of the week from our viewers. And this week's question comes from Danielle, and she wants to know, what is your best/craziest fishing story? So we'll let the guests go first. Zach, do you have a awesome or crazy fishing story that sticks out for you?
I think the one that I always think of just in general, because it's probably a catch I'll never forget. It was when I was just starting to fish, or I should say just starting to create content around fishing. It was probably late October, early November. Fishing was starting to get really tough. And I was going out fishing with my father-in-law. And my father-in-law likes fishing, but for me, mentally, it's probably a little bit more fun for me because I'm also creating content. And it was starting to get end of the day. I could just tell he was trying to get ready to go. And I was throwing my Team Loose Custom Black, medium heavy fast, 7.5-1 a combo. And I was throwing a black and blue cream worm. and we were fishing my old honey hole, but at the time, my honey hole. And I was throwing this out, hoping to catch a bass. I was trying to like throw it in this corner because that's where I saw a big bass jump a couple weeks ago. Probably caught him or something. And then I threw it over there, and I hook set, or I felt a tug of some sort, and it was. At first, I thought I either snagged something. Like a lot of these ponds have fountains as well, so you'll grab the drain or the tube that's under the water. But then it started pulling to the center, and I'm like, oh man, I caught a bass, but I have him like snagged. Like I have him hooked weird. But it's just pulling my line, and all of a sudden I see it starting to smack his tail, and I'm like, what what is this bass? Like his bass is acting weird. All of a sudden we get it to the bank, and it's a 11.5-pound catfish. And it was just not what I was expecting. I was still super new into fishing, so I was like just grab my backpack, like grab my scale, we'll pinch it with the scale, we'll pull it on the shore, just get it on the shore. And that to me, that fish, that 11.5-pound catfish catching in my little tiny retention pond will probably be a fish I never forget unless I catch something bigger. But I still think to this day, and I think even in the future, when I first started out fishing and fishing as much as I am now, that is probably the craziest, most fun fish catch, because was not expected. Totally thought I snagged. Then all of a sudden I thought I snagged a bass weird, and all of a sudden it's an 11.5-pound catfish. That was an awesome
Surprise.
Yeah, that was an awesome day. I'll never forget that fish. Totally.
That's cool. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Go for it.
All right. So I go fishing a lot early in the morning, and one day I leave like any normal day. My wife is sleeping, lock the house behind me, and where I go, you got to park like on the side of a highway and then hike. There's no road access to the water, so you got to hike a mile into the woods. So I'm up there fishing. It's like just getting light. All of a sudden, I hear my name, and I'm like, "What?" And it's getting more, and I'm hearing it again. So I'm getting scared because I rarely ever see people up there. And so I'm like crouching down, hiding with my fishing pole. But what's going on? It's the police looking for me. Someone reported my car on the side of the highway. They called my wife saying, "Hey, we found your husband's car, but we don't know where your husband is." And I'm not trying to answer the phone or do anything. I want to know why my name is being yelled in the woods. I just hear Trevor. I'm like, no, and then, and then come to find out, I had 3 towns looking for me. My wife's looking for me, and all I'm doing is fishing. So now, every time I go there, I leave a note on my car saying, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm in the woods. It has my name, my phone number. And then someone asked, hey, can I borrow that sign? It's got all my information on it, but I let them. And then I made another one.
That's insane.
Wait, someone borrowed the sign?
Yeah. They're like, they wanted it for the same reason, but I'm telling them, no, hopefully they wrote on the back or something. Yeah, that stands out.
Imagine that is through the woods, and it's kind of dark, and I hear my name. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's like
He's just ducking and hiding.
What kind of highly intelligent Sasquatch is after me now? Like, yeah, that's funny. Great. I love that one. Go ahead, Anthony. What's yours?
I'm gonna go with craziest. I do a lot of night fishing, so I was out. I just got like a new Pelican sit on top kayak. I don't know if you fish out of a sit on top, but they're kind of unstable at first if you're used to sitting in it. So I'm in like 5 feet of water. It's like 2 a.m. and I'm in the lily pads, and kind of delirious because it's 2 a.m. So I get my net, and there's a bunch of bullfrogs, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch one of these. So I smack the water with the net and immediately tip the whole kayak over. I'm in the mud. I lost everything from my pockets. I pull the kayak out. I find some of my stuff. I get in the truck with no clothes on, drive home, 2 a.m. I come inside, and my wife's like, where are your clothes? When you left, you had clothes on. And I was like, yeah, crazy story. I fell in the lake.
Funny you should ask.
You're never going to believe this.
So she's like, did you get everything? I was like, I got my phone. She's like, what about your wallet? And I'm like, no, I didn't get my wallet. And I know when this premieres, she's going to be in the comments talking. So I'm already prepared for it. She's like, I'm taking you back to the lake. I'm not dealing with you having to get new cards. So we drive back to the lake. She pulls up next to it with the headlights on. I just stroll my sad ass back in the water. And I'm just digging through this mud. And I actually...
sadness and disappointment on
Yeah,
your
for
face,
like-
I can imagine it.
For like a half hour, and I found a little piece of a blue craw bait that I use as a chatterbait trailer floating on top of a lily pad. And I'm like, well, it must have been right here. My wallet was right under it. I grabbed it, got back in the car, and I was like, just take me home. So,
Bro, that's lucky.
yeah,
That's lucky.
I found everything. Yeah, she's like, I'm not dealing with you having to get new IDs and new cards. We're going back. And I'm like, okay. Yes,
that's
boss.
incredible. Yeah. I really probably should have gone first again because mine's going to be the most underwhelming, but it's still a funny story. Buddy and I were out on my boat and had just a terrible day of fishing. It was late fall last year. It was just like nothing was biting. Our lake that we were on was right in the middle of the turnover, so everything's just scattered. It was not good conditions. It was windy. Just the imagine the short of downpouring rain, just the worst day fishing. And so we're like, forget this. We're gonna head back to the boat launch and head home and lick our wounds. Right? We get to the boat launch. I'm gonna pull up to the dock. He's gonna jump off and go get the truck, back the trailer in, and I'm going to load the boat because we're just ready to get out of there. And I get up, we're nosing. He's standing in the front of the boat. I'm nosing in. I'm coming in a little too hot, right? Coming in a little too hot. And in my head, I'm thinking, I need to, I'm gonna bump it, but then it's gonna bounce back, and I need to redo this. I didn't think to say that out loud to him. So I come in and I bump it. And he goes to go. He goes to step off. And there's an old Dane Cook bit where he's like, I didn't have time to say, look out, you're about to be struck by a vehicle. So I was more of a concerned moan. I just went, I was like, and he takes the step and he makes his first foot gets on the dock, but the boat has started to bounce at this point in time. It's got the rubber things around it, so I wasn't that worried about, slamming into it. The boat starts to bounce and it's backing away, and he cannot get that second push to get the rest of him on, and he gets there and just falls backwards into the water, like trying to struggle to climb back up. And he's got a jacket on and like jeans and a flannel shirt, and he is like, everything is in his pockets. And yeah, he eventually, and I'm just out in the boat, like making circles, like, you good, dude? You good? Are you all right? Like, you help? I felt so bad because it was my fault. Like, I should have said, not on the first try, we're going to get it on the second one or something along those lines, just to let him know that, like, abort the first attempt. We're going to go to the second one. But I didn't think to. And then I couldn't tell him no after he had already started. I couldn't tell him to stop. And yeah, he got soaked. He had to get a new phone. I got a little bit of he got a little bit of payback on me because he still backed the truck down and he was completely soaking wet, sitting in the driver's seat. So I got to ride home. I got to ride home with a wet butt, but he had to ride home with the wet everything. Literally everything. So I still feel bad to that. He's actually going on this Canada trip with me, so hopefully he's not gonna try
soaked.
to throw me in the water in retaliation. No, he was super cool about it. He wasn't it didn't seem upset in the least. He didn't even tell me that he had to get a new phone until a few months later. So I felt so bad. But yeah, the story had nothing to do with catching fish, but that was probably the funniest / most unfortunate thing that's happened on the water for me. But yeah, there we go. That's our viewer question of the week. Gentlemen, I think we're ready to go ahead and close this thing out. Anybody have any last words?
Appreciate you having me.
Zach, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
having
coming,
me,
Zach. Next
Absolutely,
time we should
Zach.
have steak. That's my last word.
We should just eat steak while
We
we're
should just get steak.
filming.
Oh, check it out, Zach. Can you see it?
Can't really see it. What is it? Oh, is it the shirt? It's a little pixely. I can't really tell, but
Yeah, I got my Zack Finds Fish shirt on.
heck yeah. Love it, dude.
It's in
Thank
my
you.
rotation of shirts. I only wear certain shirts every week.
Hey, listen, my wife now calls, you just going to wear your uniform today? Is like, that's what you're going to wear? I'm like, babe, I love these sun shirts. Leave me alone. I'm like,
Oh,
leave me alone.
they're the best, man.
You're really going to wear that
They're the
out
best.
today? I'm like, it's my uniform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, we would love to thank our guest, Zach from Zack Finds Fish. You can find him on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We'll leave all the links down in the description below. It's been awesome talking to you, Zach. Anthony, Trevor, it's been
interesting. You guys are interesting.
yeah, you guys are interesting as well. But thank you all so much for sticking with us and watching through to the end. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and give a nice sniff to that like button or something along those lines. I don't know. I'm not good at this whole YouTube thing. And if you have a question of the week, leave it in the comments below and maybe we'll answer on the next episode. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Wow, guys, we did
You have to
great
say
this
something.
night.
Is that just how it ends right there?